it's time to go beyond knowing and into becoming, right? Today we ask, what are we taking in with your eyes, your mouth, your heart, your mind? And more importantly, what are you still holding on to that's weighing you down? So when I talk about detoxification, it's not just pooping and sweating and peeing, although that is part of it. It's not just methylation and the liver activating, but it's also, what are we letting go of? Okay. So it's about detoxification in a much deeper way. And also looking at, well, what about assimilation? Okay. We're talking about emotional detox. We're talking about our thoughts, our habits, our relationships, the patterns that we are ready to really assimilate versus let go of. So let's talk about the consumption cycle. We consume, we digest, we absorb, we assimilate, we detoxify. So let's start with something really simple like an apple. Okay. We need to break it down. We want to assimilate the nutrients. So we put it in our mouth, we take a bite, and we choose it, right? We consume it. And obviously, our hormones and our confidence is going to impact the cravings for what we choose to consume, right? Our boundary setting will change what we choose to consume. Consume through social media, consume through the community we keep, we consume through what we put on our skin. But in this case, we eat the apple. So then we digest it. Okay. If we are under stress or we have a sluggish thyroid or slow digestion, that's going to really impact the digestion of the apple and the assimilation of the nutrients from the apple, as an example, right? We either turn the nutrients into energy or we store it as fat and stay foggy. To be able to be in that energy and allow to absorb life as it comes without getting thrown off center. And to be in the place of total trust that the universe is conspiring for my greater good. And even if there's a moment of constriction, right after constriction, the inevitable is the expansion. So I was just in the place of celebration. I went and bought myself a new pair of shoes. So when we think about this absorption and assimilation, I absorbed the information that someone told me my entire WordPress site had crashed. But it doesn't, I don't get to be thrown off center, right? How much of that do I want to assimilate versus detoxify and let go, right? And so now the same thing with this apple that we're eating. We want to assimilate the nutrients, and then the part that doesn't serve us, we're going to pee out, we're going to poop out, we're going to sweat out. So we eliminate physiologically and physically, but we also get to eliminate past patterns and pathways. That's literally letting go of codes or programs that we've accidentally downloaded, and it's recoding across timelines. It's about releasing what no longer serves and rooting into what makes you radiant, right? Not just in what you do, but in who you are. This is not just about what you do. It's about focusing on who am I being and who am I becoming. We all know what it feels like to feel the magnetic individual that walks in the room, or we look at individuals, if you're in the coaching industry or building an online business, like, why is that person more successful than the other when they're seeming to offer very similar things? It's their energy. It's not what they're doing. It's who they're being. And that's why the women that come in and enroll in one of my programs, we get to focus on the physiology and the hormones, of course, but we're also doing work on who we're being, the energy that we exist in, the way we look in the mirror. So who here has ever felt bloated, foggy, tired after eating healthy food? What might be off with how the body is digesting or assimilating or detoxifying? And it's like, well, we also get to look at, well, what about the life that I'm absorbing? Am I getting thrown off? Or can I maintain my center, maintain my pause, even when I'm in movement? And sometimes it's as little as just tweaking your gut microbiome so you're better absorbing the nutrients, and now you've got more resilient body, or getting that immune system up, or helping your testosterone or your estrogen dominance, right? All of it is relevant. That thyroid that you've been told looks fine, or like Kari said, her hemoglobin A1C right on the brink, but nobody's doing anything about it. To be able to go back to the foundation and say, no, we're really going to address this. So be able to ask yourself what I've been consuming with my eyes, my mouth, my heart, my mind, right? And then to go, what am I consuming? Whether it's mindlessly and I'm just telling myself I don't have time, but if I really take an account of what am I really consuming? How well am I hydrating with? And then what have I been absorbing? Am I really absorbing the nutrients from the food that am I eating? Am I going to GNC and asking some 18-year-old what supplement I should take? Or like, work for my friend, let me try that. No. We're going, I want the personalized plan that's best for me because I deserve the best. And what you'll find is there's something called metabolic programming at work where we crave what we eat. So when you're well hydrated and you've kept your blood sugar stable throughout the day, willpower to say no to ice cream is more a byproduct of your blood sugars than it is your actual willpower. Okay. So when you come in and work with us and you have that support, the cravings change. The cravings just shift. And especially when we can look into the gut microbiome too. Sometimes it can be candida that's really craving the ice cream. So, and then, so you have this space to go, okay, what am I absorbing? And what have I been assimilating? What else stories have I continued to tell myself? Like, I've got one, my kids all play soccer. And when they started playing, I was afraid to kick a ball because when I think I was like 6 or 7, my dad decided to coach our soccer team. And at the end of the season, I was so proud of myself. And my memory of it is he pulled me aside and said, I don't think soccer is your sport. You probably shouldn't play. And I was so defeated. I told myself for the rest of my life that I didn't have foot-eye coordination and I didn't kick a ball. And then here I was in my mid 40s with 3 little children that all play soccer. Come on, mom, come kick the ball with me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely assimilated a story that had no relevancy, definitely was not serving me. So how can I reframe that? Right. So we get to look at what am I assimilating? And so that one I got to detoxify and instead I go out there and kick the golf ball with my kids. They're still faster than I am. And then what am I detoxifying? Right? A thought, a habit, a substance, a relationship I'm releasing. And then of course, when you work with us, we get to look at, when I look at your Dutch Plus test, I can see something called your methylation. I want to talk a little bit about the 3 phases of detoxification. Phase 1 is the liver processing. I'm going to get into this hopefully and keep it simple enough. Phase 2 is what's called methylation or sulfation. And then phase 3 is actual excretion or elimination. Okay, so here we go. Here's the example. Let's say we're all going to a water park. And you know the ones where you get your little raft and you go up the stairs and you get to choose which water slide you're going to go down. Okay, so phase 1 is we're grabbing our raft and we're choosing to go up the stairs. That's the liver. The liver has 350 jobs that we know of every day, everything we're exposed to through our skin, through our mouth. The liver's like, okay, keep that, get rid of that, package that, right? And so the most important thing with that is converting fat soluble toxins to what's called immediate metabolites. Okay. And then getting them out of the body. So the most important thing that is needed for that is called antioxidants. Okay. And micronutrients that all come from fruits, vegetables, and berries. So the simple thing is the more wide variety of fruits, vegetables, and berries that you can eat each day, if you can get every color in every day, you are activating your liver. So now you're up the platform and you're ready to go. Okay. It's so important. So when people say, eat the rainbow, eat your fruits and vegetables, half your plate, fruits, vegetables, and berries, we really mean it. Okay. And just remember a wide variety of color. I'm not going to get too much into the science, but if you work with me and you really want to understand it, I'm happy to teach you. Okay. So then we go into phase 2. Methylation, also known as sulfation. A lot of this has to do with genetic predisposition. So it's genetic predisposition, but we can always change it. And when I look at your Dutch Plus test, it's one of the reasons why I love the Dutch Plus is I can see not just your estrogen, your progesterone, and your testosterone, but what does your body do with it? Okay. So now the liver is activated and now we've got to move to methylation, which is which water slide am I going to go down? Am I going down the slow one, the medium one, or the fast one? Okay. For estrogen, we want it to go down the fast one. We want to produce it, we want to utilize it, and we want to get it out swiftly. So we don't have to worry about like estrogen dependent cancers and fibroids and all the icky stuff. Okay. So it's making these toxins water soluble so that they can get out. And so when I look at your Dutch Plus test, we can look and we can go, oh, you need a methylated B or maybe some glutathione or maybe some sulfuric veggies, right? Or some of the cruciferous family, right? And we get to dig into that. So I just want you to hear that we've got this consumption, digestion, assimilation, and detoxification. And each phase has its complexities and layers to it. And so we get to look at it from a physiological standpoint as well as energetic. Okay. And then we go to phase 3, which is now you're on the water slide, you're going down, and you don't want to get stuck. That tube gets stuck in the slide, and now the lifeguard's letting more of those people down. We've got a pile up. It's no bueno. We're stuck. It's scary. What if you're in the dark? So that's pooping, peeing, and sweating. Okay. So if you are not having a healthy, regular bowel movement every day, it's a non-negotiable. Okay. You are blocking the excretion. And now what the body does is it reabsorbs it and starts it all over again. You're putting extra work on your body. Okay. So what's one thing today to support your detox pathways? If you can choose water, you can choose fiber, you can choose sauna, you can choose, I want the Dutch Plus test. You can choose, I'm going to choose to let her go and stop holding on to that old resentment or that old story. There's so many ways we can get in fiber. So we want to make sure we're having those regular healthy bowel movements and it's activating. The nice thing with fiber is it's often a prebiotic. So we're familiar with probiotics. They bring in the good bacteria. Prebiotics help the good bacteria do a better job. Okay. So we get to look at, what am I consuming? Through my eyes. Let's be really clear. Is there constant input that is not actually keeping your nervous system feeling safe? You know, people that play the news in the background or like to watch the detective scary things of all the crazy stuff that can go wrong in the world, or the Armageddon stuff. We go, gosh, is that really serving you? Is that what you would choose to consume? That vibrant woman, the woman whom you want to, what would she do? What would she do? When you're acting from her, does that serve you? Is it what you want to consume? What's the one thing that you can scroll past and that you choose to go, oh, that might actually be draining me? Through your mouth. It's not just food, but how you nourish or neglect. Are you allowing yourself to speak your truth? What's coming out of your mouth? Right? And to go, oh, here's a food or a meal habit that really needs a loving upgrade. And then what's coming in through our heart? What are we consuming through our heart? When you look in the mirror, do you speak with yourself with loving words? Are you surrounding yourself with a community of people that are lifting and rising and have big dreams and are lifting you up, particularly amongst women? I think that in some spaces, women together could really utilize an upgrade. And can we be in communities where we cheer one another on, lift one another up, cheer one another on, and then when we walk out of the room, we continue to have the same spirit? And there's never the feeling of having to look over your shoulder and wondering what's being said outside the room. Can we upgrade that? If we allow ourselves to bloom together, we get to go, okay, what if I place my hand on my heart and I feel my feet on the ground and I take a breath and I ask myself, what am I no longer available for? What am I no longer available for? Like, where have I been allowing myself to continue to consume? And I go, I'm not available for that anymore. I'm not available for the drama. I'm not available for the lack mentality. I'm not available to go out with my friends and overdrink. I'm not available to let myself be thrown off center when something like my website has crashed happens, which it didn't actually crash. I'm not available for that. Instead, what do I now choose to nourish? And so we can go, right, I'm going to burn a limiting belief, write down those limiting beliefs, write them down, tear it up, light it on fire, burn it, whatever it takes to be able to go, I am letting this go. I am detoxing this. I'm letting it go. I'm hydrating better. I'm going to start peeing it out, right? I'm going to use my sweat box. I'm going to sweat it out. I'm going to declare it that it's done. And to be able to say, I'm making a blooming declaration. This is about pause in bloom. We cultivate the soil. We plant the seeds of manifestation. And remember, seeds germinate themselves. It's effortless. We plant the seeds of desire and ask ourselves, what would I love? What would I love? How would I love to feel? How would I love my hormones to be vibrating? How would I love my mood to be? How would I love my libido to be? How would I love my sleep to be? How would I love my body to look like and feel like? What would I love? And you plant that seed. You can do it literally or metaphorically, and then know that it germinates itself. We get to make the choices from that abundant version of us that trusts and believes and declares and embodies her, the one that's there. So to be able to go, right, close your eyes, feel into the version of who is fully embodied, supported, and radiant, and then finish the sentence. I am a woman who is blooming into, and I'm going to take a pause right there and just allow you to sit with it. I am a woman who is blooming into. Maybe you see a specific flower. Maybe it's a certain feeling in your body. Maybe you have a visual, a picture. Maybe there are certain words. Maybe it's a place. Maybe it's a specific manifestation or a laundry list of symptoms that you want to feel. One of the beauties of the Women's Vibrancy Code specifically is if you are blooming into a business owner, many of us in that container are, and we get to support one another. I've built a multi-million dollar business. It's been years and it's been fun. And I am more than happy to use our time to be able to say, here's what I've learned. Here's what's worked for me. We can use the time because that's about vibrancy. If what you're wanting is to build not only a vibrant body and vibrant confidence, but also vibrant finances and vibrant business, we all get to be there together. Let's talk about what's possible. If we're in this season of yes, the seed has self germinated and it starts to bloom and blossom, and we come alive, and our colors can be seen by others and they can come by and smell us. Oh my gosh, the irises are blooming here right now. I love going on walks in my neighborhood. Such a subtle smell, but it's amazing. So over the last few days, we've explored the parts of you that were overlooked, maybe dismissed, or running on autopilot, right? We're like, oh yeah, I guess I did go to my provider and I did hear either, oh, everything looks fine, or here's another prescription, or see you again in a year. And you're like, wait a minute. That's not optimized. That's not vibrant. Where have I gone belly up when actually I go, no, I'm declaring this blooming version of me, and I'm going to make the choice from here, right? To say, I've met my truth. I've met my symptoms. I've met my longing, and I'm clear on where I am, and I'm clear where I want to go. And that, my friend, if you can offer that to me and the team, we've got you to go, wow, I have new clarity and awareness of where I am. And I'm clear on what I would love, what I would desire. And we're going to, of course, help you skyrocket those desires. And now it's like, okay, if you're in Wellington and you want to get to New York, we've got different directions than if you're in Tallahassee and you want to get to New York. So just allow that to go right. And some of you are already feeling the shift. You've been waking up in new ways. You're asking different questions just in the midst of a few days, a few hours, waking up going, oh, I feel different. Just in the midst of a few hours, like change can happen potent. Kari sharing in just 3 months, like skyrocketed. Wow. Right. And maybe you're feeling the tug in your heart, the pull of what's next. And for some, it's clear. Yes. And for some, there's some hesitation, the voice of, can I really do it? Will this really work for me? Is now the time? Do I have the time? Can I really invest in myself? And I go, I want you to know that I've asked those same questions myself. And I once lived in the land of fine, pushing through, doing it all, spinning my wheels in exhaustion and spreadsheets until my body forced me to listen. And I hope that you don't get to that place. I don't want you to get to the point of crisis, not to the point where your body's actually forcing you to listen, but instead to say, yes, because I deserve it now. And I want to lay the foundation now. And I know the brilliance that I'm growing into and the impact that I'm going to have in the world. And that ripple effect, the vibrant ripple effect, is what I'm longing for and wanting. And so remember the declaration. I hope all of you wrote it down. Allow yourself to embody it. The one you whispered when no one was looking. And you go, did I hold anything back? Is there any fear of outshining? Is there any part of me that feels fundamentally flawed? And no, I'm going to choose differently. I'm going to declare I'm going to declare and I'm going to say yes. I'm going to invest in her with time and energy and money and stop trying to do it all alone or stop focusing on all the things that are in my way. And instead, to be able to say yes to receivership. That's the feminine. Every day, you choose what you consume and what to release. Okay. Who you are becoming. Sometimes you need some support with your physiology or like being in self-awareness of how you're getting in your own way. And that's where we get to go, I'm not going to do it all alone. I'm going to bring in a community. Yeah, just to be able to go, okay, what am I consuming? And to allow yourself to be in receivership. Yeah, to receive some support. Like, wow, I don't know. I don't even know what's in my way, or I don't know what it's going to look like to change. We've got you. Okay. And just to ask yourself once again, what's one shift that you'll make starting today? For those of you that have watched the replays or been on live, you can think through any of it. But to be able to say, what's one shift? What's one shift I'm making today? With that, I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.